Hello everyone. I'm here today to talk about creating images to illustrate your ancestral storytelling. I'm using Abacus AI. This is not a free product, but it has been immensely useful for me in discovering all the different ways that I can create images. It has a number of different tools, models, and styles that you can use. You're currently looking at a page in which I created this image of an 1830s enumerator in Wales, at least my idea of what he might look like in that scene. And here was my simple prompt at the top. Create an image of a mature-aged man whose occupation is enumerator for census collections in 1830s Wales. Use a photorealistic image of him at the door of a household with papers in hand, which it has done very well with the image generator called Flux One Context. When I click into the image, I can also see an expanded description of that prompt. It's taken my very simple prompt and expanded it into something quite extraordinary, well-structured and very detailed. And I can take a copy of that and use it again somewhere else in a different image generator. I can also right-click on this and save the image and put it into wherever I want it to go. And it's automatically given it a JPEG image file name. So that part is done. Close that off. And now I want to see how well it can do with a different image generator. So I'm going to go to the very bottom of this particular conversation because I've been doing many in here. And I'm going to use that same prompt, the very large one that it came up with. But I also want to make sure that I choose image down here at the bottom. So clicking into image, therefore gives me access to all these different image generators. Remember, we use Flux first of all. So it has Ideogram 3. That was the last one I used here. When I click here, it shows me all the others that I can have. So I'm going to try it with Ideogram 3. And I just paste in my prompt and generate it. Nothing much else to do here, unless you want to be very specific about your aspect ratio and so on. Let's just try it in this simplistic way by generating. And we'll let that happen in the background. What I'm going to do now is take you across to my prompt library, where I've got the image that I created with Flux already situated in this row of the prompt library. Here is the detailed prompt that I use, and I'm going to paste the copy that Ideogram produces into this cell. I can then repeat the process by going over to ChatGPT or staying in Abacus and using the Dall-E model generator. So let's go back and see how it's gone with the generation of that image in Abacus. And here it is. I like Ideogram. It has a particularly evocative and really realistic kind of imagery. So what I do here is click into it, right click and save the image. And we will give it the same name as we did for the other. Can't see enumerator, so I'll just type it in here. And save it as a PNG and close. So my next step is to simply add that into my prompt library by inserting the image into the cell and just finding it where I left it. This one here. Okay, so then the process is repeated. I'll do that and I'll come back and I'll show you the third element in here. So now I have an image generated by Dall-E. I'm still inside Abacus AI, but you could do that in ChatGPT if you have that account. And here is a very different portrayal of the enumerator in Wales, ready to be stored. So once again, clicking into it. And just to double check, when I click onto the I for information, this is exactly the same prompt that I gathered from the very first one. So I just duplicated that. And now I want to save it, right click and give it the name enumerator 3. Now I can go back to my prompt library and add it into the cell here. I do this because this prompt library is available for you to have a look at. And you can see how it grows during a lot of time that I spend creating the prompts and generating the images. But I do suggest that you try it for yourself. Just create a simple spreadsheet, or as I do, use a sheet in Google Docs, or a Google Sheet, I should say, and then just paste in your prompt and then your images. And that way you get an idea of how you're going to compare what tool you are going to use more frequently in your generation of images for illustrations. Now, as you can see here in the prompt library, I've got many of these happening, and you can come in and click on the prompts and try it for yourself in your favorite tools, and you'll get some very different ideas on how each of the image generators creates the image from this very long and detailed prompt. Within this prompt library, you'll notice at the bottom that I have other pages that you can look into. Locality guides is a new one just beginning. And then right at the front, there are some prompt sheet instructions for you. So I do hope that you have enjoyed this very brief look into how you can compare different AI tools and image generator models for your image generations.